back to the Dodge I Just Don't Caravan. My name's Ollie, and here's your loaf of daily bread. Today's loaf comes to us from Stephen Crane, and he writes the following. A man said to the universe, "Sir, I exist." "However," replied the universe, "the fact has not created in me a sense of obligation." I wanted to share this quote with you because it cracked me up the first time I read it. And it kind of captures this idea that I have, that the universe doesn't really give a shit about you. It doesn't care about you in the way a human being cares about another human being, or even in the way a human being cares about the random possessions that they have. The universe, nature, God, whatever you call it, the highest power is not a human. And attempts to anthropomorphize this higher power have led to really gross negative consequences throughout history. Whenever we talk about God and refer to it as a he, whenever we ascribe any kind of human qualities or human behaviors to this higher power, I think we're missing the mark. And what I love about this little short quote from Stephen Crane is that he really blows that right out of the water. This idea that the universe owes you something, that the universe has an obligation to make sure that you get what you want. I think it's really easy to fall into this trap of thinking that we're the center and that everything that we want should come to us and that the world should unfold as we see fit. This is part of the egocentric worldview that we've all acquired in our early years of life. We've all been duped into thinking that we are the center of the universe, that everything revolves around us, and that when things don't work out the way we wanted them to or expected them to, that somehow we've become the victims of some grave injustice, as if the universe has some kind of obligation toward us simply because we exist. Well, as the fictional individual in Stephen Crane's quote here quickly finds out, the universe is under no obligation. The universe owes you nothing, and the universe doesn't give a shit. The universe spat you out. And quite frankly, that in itself was a pretty solid favor. And remember, you're part of the universe. And in fact, you are the universe. You are an extension, a product, a result of the processes that have created everything. That's you. So to say that the universe owes you nothing or has no obligation toward you is a statement that can be taken in two ways. It can be taken at the surface level, which is what I just talked about. The fact that nature and the universe are not humans, and they don't have these things called obligations. They don't care. They don't value. They simply are, and they do. But then the next layer is to look at yourself as the universe. And at that layer, you can say that maybe you do have an obligation to yourself. Now, what that obligation is, I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's just to keep yourself alive. Maybe it's a little bit more profound than that. Maybe you have an obligation to yourself to get to know yourself. Maybe you have an obligation to yourself to be better, to improve, and to continually evolve into a better version of yourself. Maybe that's an obligation that you have. Maybe not. I don't know. All I know is that the universe, externally speaking, has no obligations toward you. And I, for one, don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Because when someone has an obligation toward you, that usually comes at a price. When someone is indebted to you, when someone cares about you, there are always strings attached, conditions, and requirements. So to know that the universe has no obligation toward you is, in my opinion, a positive thing. It means you're free. You don't owe the universe anything. It doesn't owe you anything. So carry on your merry way and do what you need to do. Well, well, well. I've run out of things to say. What a glorious moment. Thanks for joining me on this drive, and don't forget to live well, my friends.